Raw review for the June 9th episode of Raw. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers, talk about some wrestling, huh?
First Raw after Money in the Bank. They've been building this one up for quite some time due to the main event. This delivered on every aspect, start to finish. The finish was surprising.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible. It's been a hell of a SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and Raw. It's been even better watching it with you guys live on our live stream on youtube.com/@CodWrestlePod. So hope to see you guys there. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. John Cena, him and Logan Paul, they lost because of Mr. Ron Killings on Money in the Bank. Cena starts the show. He comes out. He says, "The truth is a lie. You all saved a sideshow comedian whose number one achievement was pretending to be me." And he's speaking to all of us at this point, the fans, the crowd. He said, "You have accomplished nothing. You have no real power here to change anything. Our truth will mean nothing in a year to any of you. This is my farewell tour. Use your voice and send me competition. We are halfway done with my farewell tour, and your voice has been used for nothing." And that's when CM Punk's music hits. And we all go wild. Like, oh my God, this is one of the biggest feuds that everybody's been waiting for. John Cena, CM Punk 2025. Woo! So he comes out and he says, "Are you comfortable, John? I have a lot to say. It's ironic that you're the Boy Scout who now wants to ruin wrestling while I'm out here defending the establishment. But just so you know, I'm not defending the billionaires and TKO or any of that. I'm defending all of you people." And he points to us. So it's absolutely crazy. He's pulling off a freaking face while John Cena is the heel. I don't know what world we're living in at this point. He goes, "You're mad at all of them? Why? Because they picked me. You take cheap shots and shortcuts. You kiss final bosses' asses. You take cheap shots. I'm here for the people. If they want truth, they'll get Ron Killings. I'm here to take that right there around your waist. That belt corrupts people. Hell, it corrupts me. But in order to defeat a monster, I must become a monster." And that's when he says, "You put all your dates up there on the screen again. Go ahead and pick any of them when you want to face me for that belt. And if you were man enough, you would do it right here, right now." And that's when John Cena gives us a little, oh yeah, the best in the world versus the greatest of all time for the championship. And he walks away and he comes back and he goes, "Let's do it." The whole crowd goes wild. And then he goes, "Not tonight." Not tonight. And then he goes,
Could you imagine though?
"Oh my God." And then he goes, "If you want to fight me, you'll have to follow me to Saudi. Night of Champions, Mr. Punk." And then randomly Seth Rollins' music hits and you think something's going to happen there. But all he does is hold out the Money in the Bank briefcase to remind everybody that he is now looming. But it is official. Night of Champions. We get John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. Face Punk, heel Cena. This is absolutely incredible. Popping all of it.
Yeah, you got to pop this. He talks about some real competition, chant for some real competition. I'm leaving this up to you guys, the fans, right? You guys give me some real competition was basically the thought here. And you get a little bit of CM Punk chants and you're like, well, they can't do it this soon, can they? They can't. Oh, and they did. And you got the promos and you got goosebumps. It takes you right back, right? You're still just like, God, these two, they work so well together. I will say, Night of Champions, a little bit of a letdown. A little bit, small. But I just think that's going to be part one. I assume they're going to do it again. I assume there's some malarkey or baloney or some shenanigans there, is what I'll say. And we'll go ahead and we'll run it back at a different time. But either way, I mean, this is one of the ones you talk about the retirement tour for John Cena. Who's he got to face? This name's one or two. It's either this or it's Randy Orton. Well, we already got Randy Orton and Cena. So CM Punk, John Cena. We didn't get it at Money in the Bank like a lot of people thought, but we're getting it at Night of Champions. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, you know what I had fantasy book going into Night of Champions? I was fantasy booking Logan Paul and John Cena because they obviously got in a little bit of a scuffle during their match and they had a fallout. So I was like, well, naturally we're going to do that. Turns out we get freaking CM Punk versus John Cena. I'm going to go ahead and take it. I think it's hilarious that we're also doing the storyline of Punk has said in the past he wouldn't go to Saudi and John Cena kind of bring that up. He was like, "You're going to have to follow me to Saudi, bro. So you going to do this? You want to fight?" So it's all just absolutely great. Seeing a heel John Cena stand in the ring with CM Punk. Punk was bringing back the callbacks to him being the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees and all this good stuff. He was bringing up promo bits and pieces from the past. It was like, this is everything I've ever wanted, man. I'm so glad it's happening. Do I wish it was at SummerSlam? Sure, but we're getting it no matter what. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, like I said, I think we're going to get something else here. I feel like maybe a 3-week Night of Champions build maybe isn't what's in the card, so we maybe end up getting it again further down the line. Maybe that's selfish of me to be like, I just want some more of this.
Oh, yeah.
It'll also be interesting to see how it works, just thinking here out loud. So you've got Gunther, who's on Raw, but now Cena's on Raw, but also with Punk now, who's on Raw. So does SmackDown not have a champion, or does Cena go back and forth? Does Punk follow him over there? It's going to be kind of interesting to see how they handle that.
Punk followed Drew over there a couple times during the Drew Punk thing.
Kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but it is interesting that
I mean, Netflix needs their bite of John.
That's what I mean, right?
Netflix needs their bite
everywhere. Well, you know what? USA needs their bite of the champion.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, Chad Gable, AJ Styles, they were in a one-on-one singles match here. It was really good. It was short. American Made obviously helped out Chad Gable right away. Chad's banged up from his AAA match, the only match that he had over the weekend. I don't care what anybody says. But so that throughout the match, one American Made member would distract the ref while the other would help Chad Gable get involved with it. But AJ would one time go for the Styles Clash, but American Made would save Chad Gable. Mm-hmm. And that's when AJ would start taking out all of them until Chad Gable reversed the phenomenal forearm into an ankle lock, which is absolutely insane. But eventually they start getting into like a roll-up battle, and AJ rolls him up into the Styles Clash, hits it 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles wins this match. Later on in the night, he basically says he's going to come after Chad Gable some more. So that's coming on down the line. But for a first match, this is good, short. I like it and popping it.
Yeah, and Chad Gable is going to be on the Raw recap. So after you listen to this one fully all the way through, go ahead and check that out.
There's another Raw recap?
For this, it was fun. It was a great way to kind of start the night. Really kind of showed, hey, there's a lot of good wrestling coming tonight, because we thought at the beginning, this is match of the night. And then by the end of it, you're like, okay, maybe this was the worst match that we saw. I mean, just a lot of overall good wrestling tonight. Chad, AJ Styles, you can sign me up. AJ says in the promo, Chad is one of the best in the ring. It's really nice to see Chad getting that recognition again, especially after his AAA match. So, yeah, you could give this to me 100 times. Yeah,
the only thing that I want to say is, like, Chad needs to be brought up in bigger conversation at this point in terms of just his in-ring. He is literally up there with the best of the best of the best of the best in any company. Like, Chad Gable is that dude. So whether you like his gimmicks or his storylines, it doesn't matter. That man in the ring is just A1. But we moving on. Birthday girl, Liv Morgan. She's backstage getting ready for her qualifier match that she has until Roxanne walks up to her, who's also in that qualifier match. She says, we should probably work together. And Liv says, nah, we should not. Get the hell out of my way. I'm going to win tonight. And Roxanne says, may the best woman win. And Liv says, yes, I will.
Right then and there.
Yeah, right then and there. We should have known.
Yeah, should have known.
Women's qualifier match did take place, though, for the Queen of the Ring tournament, the first of 2 or 4 women's fatal 4-ways over the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. It was Roxanne versus Liv versus Rhea versus Kairi Sane. Yeah, insane. And it was. This match absolutely smacked. It starts out immediately with Rox wanting to tag or team up with Liv, but Liv shoving her away, and that leaving Liv and Rhea in the ring with each other. And obviously we know the history there. Rhea chases Liv, and Liv tries to scurry away until Rhea beats her up, basically. But eventually Rox would win over Liv's trust during the match. There was a point where Rhea was going to riptide Liv Morgan, but Roxanne took out the knee. She basically proved herself of like, no, I am here to help you. Let me help. And there was a good 5-minute period during this match where it was Liv and Roxanne tag teaming on all of them, and it was freaking awesome. They military pressed Kairi and threw her to the outside of the ring onto Rhea Ripley. It was absolutely nuts. Eventually, though, Rhea would start hulking up, killing everybody per usual. She reverses a Liv Oblivion into a riptide, and at this point, we go for the pin. Rhea gets a 1-2. Raquel Rodriguez is there, pulls out Rhea Ripley. They start to fight. All of a sudden, a flying Kairi Sane comes off the top turnbuckle to the outside with an insane elbow. Then she pops right back up, goes into the ring, goes up to the turnbuckle again, hits an insane elbow on Liv Morgan. Win. Roxanne rolls up, Kairi Sane out of it. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne Perez stuns everybody. She tries to help Liv Morgan, but ends up getting herself a win in the women's qualifier match to advance in the Queen of the Ring. This match was absolutely phenomenal, and Roxanne winning is great. Popping it.
Yeah, I mean, this was amazing. You look at it in terms of like the multi-person matches in WWE now. We got another one later on tonight. They're phenomenal. They're great. I'm not really a big multi-person triple threat Fatal 4, but like they have mastered it. It's awesome. You get Liv and Rox working together. You could even say that maybe they should kind of be like tag team. They worked really, really well together tonight. Kyrie got a little bit of offense. Rhea sold tonight. Rhea looked amazing. I mean, she was making everybody look good. I think that's kind of an underrated part of Rhea's game, so we got to kind of give her some credit there. But phenomenal choice here. Later on, you get a little bit of a backstage tension with them. And, I mean, Roxanne, you kind of needed her to get a win because, as you said when she was coming out, she just kind of takes the pins, right? She's kind of the one that's in the ring. You can put her in anywhere, and she's going to look amazing. She's going to make the other person look amazing. So give her a win here, and it really kind of just progresses that Judgment Day friction.
Yeah, it was just great, honestly. I don't really have much more to say. I mean, her beating Liv in that fashion where she does do the whole thing, the entire match, she dedicated herself to helping Liv. Like, Roxanne is legitimately trying to get on Liv's good side here. She helps her throughout the entire match, but then, like, hey, man, she's also there for herself. She sees her moment. She takes it. She gets the win. It's great to see that, like, Roxanne, like you just said, somebody who's been taking a lot of pins on the main roster ever since she came back. Now she gets a solid win over 2-3 great stars on Raw. Makes her look legitimate now as well. But there's more coming in later in the night that we'll talk about when it comes to the Roxanne stuff. Mm-hmm. But we move it on, though. Becky Lynch is pissed, and she's here, and she's pissed. She comes out. She says, I deserve this. She, because obviously the crowd didn't chant you deserve this when she came out the IC title. She's sitting there and she says, I've won so many things in my career here that it's hard to celebrate the first, and I should be able to celebrate this, but I can't because of that bird lady. She lost the match and she had to raise my arm, and she raised my arm very aggressively and it hurt my shoulder. So I couldn't raise my arm anymore, and I gave her the opportunity to apologize and help me put the title around my waist afterward. And what did she do after that? Drop me on my head. She tried to kill me, is what she said. So she said, so come out here right now, bird lady, and do this right. And that's when Lyra's music hits, but we don't get any wings or nothing. She is just storming to the ring. If this was a Looney Tune, she would literally have smoke coming out of her ears. She was pissed off, stomping her way to the ring. And she gets about halfway through the set when Bayley from out of nowhere attacks Becky Lynch. From behind, Becky rolls out of the ring, backs into Lyra, who is, at this point, you look at Lyra, she's confused off her ass. She's like, what in the world? What, Bayley's here now? And Becky runs from Lyra. I think Bayley tries to plant her with the rose plant in the middle of the ring, but Becky rolls out, sprints away, but Bayley returns. She does attack Becky Lynch with that IC title, but Lyra doesn't seem to be in on it. She looks confused as to why Bayley's here. It's looking like that triple threat everybody's fantasy booked is starting to come to fruition. I loved everything. Popping it.
Yeah, this was awesome. Really great promo from Becky. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if many people did, but like the gaslighting, like from Becky, and just the funny humor that I found in it was great stuff. You do have Lyra getting really upset, and she looks very pissed when she comes to the ring. And then you get Bayley returning. Obviously, Bayley attacks Becky, so everybody kind of knows that happens. But Lyra's probably like, well, now I have to deal with you too. Like, I already had my hands full with Becky here. Now I have to deal with Bayley as well. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens at Night of Champions in terms of what match they decide to do. And then, obviously, I think we get the triple threat probably at Evolution, which you could sign me up for that. And then you could branch off Bayley versus whoever. You could do Bayley Becky or Bayley Lyra. I don't really care who you do. It's all going to be fantastic stuff. So just sign me up for it.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this. I like the idea that Bayley came back without telling Lyra how confused Lyra looked. Lyra's going to be in the state of mind of like, yes, Becky did attack you before the WrestleMania match, but so much has happened since then that like I have unfinished business with Becky. And then Bayley's going to be like, well, no, I obviously have unfinished business with Becky too. And so they're going to start clashing heads. I agree. I don't know whether or not you run one more Lyra Becky at Night of Champions and you have Bayley get involved there, and that leads us to Evolution. But either way, it's going to be fantastic. Bayley's going to have to come in ready to fire on the promo because these two are doing work in that aspect of it. So hopefully this just elevates this great feud to even higher heights, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you look at it and you're like, well, they could just keep running this back forever and I would be happy. Now you have Bayley kind of introduced into it to maybe further the storyline, further the feud a little bit. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
It's just that women's IC title has just been elevated so much.
Yeah.
Even you could say even past the women's world title.
Yeah, it's incredible right now. Yeah, on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, before we could cut to a commercial break, we cut to Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Pat McAfee sitting out tonight. I don't know why, but Wade Barrett was there, did a great job. You win. Guy pops up in full black sweatshirt, everything that we normally see when it's like a who is that in WWE, takes off his hat. It's R-Truth. And the crowd is just loving it. I mean, just exploding for this man. Like, I'm going to do a good job. It's not that hard of a promo to cover here, but like, go watch the highlight for this because I can't do it justice how much the crowd was just happy to see him. He says, "Don't let anyone say your voice does not matter. I am back because of y'all. We won. R-Truth is back for you and for me. We all love R-Truth, but he's too funny. He's too nice and he's too forgiving, but not me. I wish you would," is what he says. He goes, "I feel alive now. If you think that I am a gimmick," he then pulls out a pair of scissors and he takes all his hair, all of his dreadlocks that he has, that R-Truth has had for a decade, cuts them all off. Boom, boom, right in front of the crowd. Crowd's going absolutely crazy. He says, "I am Ron Killings. The truth will set you free." And he takes off into the crowd while the crowd absolutely erupts. R-Truth is back, but he's now known as Ron Killings. He cuts his dreads off. The crowd's ecstatic. A new era of R-Truth / Ron Killings is here, and I am so freaking excited for it. Popping it.
Yeah, we heard Truth was going to do, or Ron Killings, I guess I should call him now. We knew he was going to do something tonight. There was news that leaked that he was going to have some sort of promo or some sort of segment of something. Didn't expect this. Didn't expect the wildness of, hey, I'm going to jump on the announce table. The environment is crazy. And Truth kind of, for Killings, I want to keep calling him R-Truth. I gotta change that there. Ron is sitting there feeding into it, and the crowd is just getting more crazy and more crazy and more crazy. And then, like you said, he cuts all his hair off. The crowd starts chanting, "Holy shit," for this man for cutting his hair off. And it is a new beginning. Like, it is a new fresh start. If you're not familiar with Ron Killings and TNA and NWA and things like that, like, you should go back and watch some of that stuff. Fantastic stuff. I'm just excited. I don't really know where this is going to take us, who he maybe faces next. I don't know. But we get that more serious side. That's something I'm really excited to get.
Yeah, I think WWE might need to pivot with some stuff, man, because this man is as over can be right now. This one promo for Ron Killings makes us immediately invested in this new character. Like, I'm ready to see him go after whatever he wants. I know we're doing the Punk Cena stuff, and that was planned in advance. If they had come out tonight and been like, "No, we're just going to continue the John Cena Ron Killings feud," I would have been like, hell yeah. But either way, this one promo with this crowd reaction, with this character change, it just says one thing. There are only bigger and better things coming for R-Truth, Ron Killings. And I'm so excited for this new era for him, man. I'm just excited. I'm through the moon for it. And hell yeah. Hell yeah, Ron.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can really say.
I gotta get you fired up.
Yeah. This whole episode did that.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, this whole episode, fantastic.
Yeah, there might not be a drop. Anyway, we go backstage to Judgment Day.
I can think of one.
We go backstage to Judgment Day. And it's Finn in there, and he's with Dom, and Roxanne comes up, and Finn's excited as hell that Roxanne qualified.
He's excited that Ron Killings is back too.
Yeah, he's excited too. But Roxanne obviously qualified, and Finn looks at Dom. He's like, "Dom, congratulate her." And Dom's like, I have a match. I have a match. That's when Liv walks up. And Liv looks like she wants to cry. It's her birthday. She lost. Dom's talking to Roxanne.
She's very mad cry.
She's
so mad she's going to cry, you know?
And she's mad. And Roxanne is like, look, honestly, I was trying to help you the whole time. You really can't be mad at me here. And Liv just kind of storms off. Dom is looking like he wants to kind of just get away from all this drama. So, I mean, that's kind of just bubbling up in the J-Day right now, man. I don't really know what else to say. There's drama brewing. Drama brewing. JD had some good hair. JD had great hair tonight, man.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you pointed that out.
Got to.
Then we had the pop of the night. We got a 30-second Mr. Iguana promo.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't remember exactly where it is in the show, but I remember it.
Yeah,
we'll
we're
watch it
popping
multiple. I mean, that's not a question.
We go Seth Rollins
Iguana
backstage.
Pops.
Iguana Pops.
Not Golden Pops. Iguana Pops.
Iguana Pops. Seth and his faction are backstage, and he's talking to Braun Breaker. His Braun has a match to qualify for the money for the King of the Ring stuff as well. And he says, it's an all-out assault now by us. You're going to win this. I have this. Money in the Bank. The power will be ours. So we go to that match. Men's freaking King of the Ring qualifier match. Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, Dom Mysterio, and Penta. This match was Braun Breaker being Braun freaking Breaker, man.
Jeez.
He dominated everybody for like the majority of this match.
As he kind of should.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to really try to, I mean, I'm not trying to jump the gun here, but if you're really going to try to make this faction look powerful and look like that, you got to have him do that.
Yeah, I mean, he dominated most of this match until eventually we would get everybody getting a little bit of offense. And there's this cool spot where Penta hits a suicide dive onto Sammy. Then Dom comes flying over. He does like a suicide dive into a DDT on Penta. And then Braun pops up to the apron and does his like apron clothesline thing that he does over the announce table to Dom Mysterio. So things were going absolutely crazy there. But eventually, Braun gets to dominating again, and he throws Penta to the outside of the ring. And you know Braun, he sees somebody on the outside of the ring. I mean, it's time to spear that man.
It's going to destroy them.
And he does. He runs around the ring, he spears the hell out of Penta. But when he pops up, LA Knight, is here. He plants him with the PFT, BFT, whatever it's called. The PFT, PFC, RIP. The BFT2 Braun Breaker. And he bolts. The crowd goes wild. Sammy, meanwhile, he gets up Dom in the ring. Haluva kicks Dom. 1, 2, 3. Sami Zayn qualifies. He moves on in the King of the Ring tournament with the help of LA Knight, costing Braun Breaker. So it's looking like LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Braun. That's all going to be a thing from here on out. Popping all this.
Yeah, I'm going to pop and drop.
Okay.
Pop and drop. So yeah, thing was phenomenal. And you say we may have a flawless night of nothing here. The only thing that I'm going to drop here is Dom taking the pin. I think Penta and Dom should have probably switched. You could have Dom get speared on the outside, Penta take the pin. I don't like it, the fact that we're trying to somewhat build Dom up. I mean, he just had an appearance with Octagon Jr. He just did the AAA stuff. So you're trying to like make him serious or do something with the IC title, and then he gets just flat out pinned. I mean, that's a small gripe, I guess, but I would like him to be taken a little bit more serious on WWE TV.
I'm with you. Braun
Breaker dominating, fantastic stuff. We knew Penta wasn't going to win this match. You knew looking at this match, Sammy being in Saudi, he was going to get the win here.
Yeah, right. Sammy, Saudi, it's going to happen. Braun obviously doesn't need to win this match because Seth Rollins has the Money in the Bank. I mean, there would be something of giving them too much. Like if Braun Breaker were to also win the freaking King of the Ring tournament, it'd be like, okay, well, we're overdoing this a little bit. Penta has been losing a good amount, so maybe that's why they chose to have Dom get pinned. Yeah, I'm not really down for it either. There's one champion in the match, and he ends up taking the pin here.
And he doesn't come out last.
And the way he gets pinned, he didn't come out last either. And the way he gets pinned is clean. Like he wasn't involved in any of the LA Knight stuff, so he just lost, right? There's no shenanigans there, so I don't really like that either. But the match overall here was absolutely great. Sammy moving on. Yeah, he still got to win me over. After the match, him and Cross still ran into each other. Cross loved it. He was like, you're finally starting to get this thing. I see some mean in you. And Sammy's like, no, I'm not that guy. So whether or not we do anything with that, I don't know. But
start to lose out hope.
We're moving on.
Lose out hope. I think we might get the Theory Waller breakup before we get the Cross push.
We're getting GTA 6 before both of them, like you said. Getting GTA 6. And then Nikki Bella. She returns. You can look, but you can't touch. You love every second of it. She says they're in Arizona tonight, which is her and Bree's hometown. I guess I didn't know that.
Phoenix, yeah.
And
Arizona's not a town, but yes.
Whatever. And she says, good to be home, and it's good to be in this ring. She thanks everybody, her Bella Army, for supporting her over the years. And then she plugs Evolution 2. She says that's coming up next month, which is kind of our first saying from one of the women that we're now starting to build this thing. She says that there are so many talented women here in wrestling now, and she names Rhea Ripley. She names Io Sky. She names all these people. She names the new people, Roxanne, Stephanie.
Julia, Bianca.
She leaves one person off the list, and that person decides to come out here storming mad. It's Liv Morgan. She's pissed off, man. She lost earlier in the night. She's mad.
One of the better promos.
Yeah.
That she's cut.
She gets in the ring screaming, you better mention me, or you better mention Liv Morgan. I'm the best in the WWE. She says she's the greatest tag team champion of all time.
And the first crown jewel champion.
First crown jewel champion. She says, you're just jealous. I have everything you don't. I have a championship. I show up every week on Raw, and I have a man. Ooh, obviously the crowd gives us the oohs, the ahs there. But Nikki comes back. She says, I get it. You lost. You're mad. You're angry. She goes, but I have to ask you, who does your man actually belong to? You or Roxanne? And next time you see her, go ahead and congratulate her for me for beating you in the Queen of the Ring tournament and for taking your man. And she starts to get out of the ring when Liv says something along the lines of, all you're ever going to be is a reality TV star. And that's when Nikki Bella decides to get back in the ring. But right when she gets through those ropes, Liv hits her with a nice oblivion. Bang! Plants her right in the middle of the mat. So Nikki Bella is back in a fantastic return, but it looks like she's feuding with Miss Liv Morgan to begin her run back in the WWE. Liv plants her with an oblivion. Liv versus Nikki Bella all day, every day, man. Hell yeah. Popping it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say a fantastic return. It was a return.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about this with our Evolution Predicting the Match card. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. We had Liv Morgan and Raquel versus there's no real tag teams left. So you might be doing a Bella Twins versus them. You may also just straight up do a Liv Morgan versus Nikki Bella. I mean, I would pretty much sign up for that. This has been like just in the short time that we saw, a couple of minutes. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I like this. Liv's been the MVP of the last year and a half or so. You can kind of put her in anything you really want. I understand that people might say, let's put Liv in some more serious stuff. I get that. But if you're going to have somebody go against Nikki Bella, you look at the roster with somebody that can cut promos, somebody that can make Nikki look good. I think your choice is probably Liv. I mean, and Liv's not really doing a whole lot. She's got the tag titles. Yes, she lost tonight. Yeah, there's the Roxanne drama. That's probably further down the line sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you think about it, you're like, yeah, this makes total sense.
Yeah, I'm 100% bought into this. I mean, the immediate response is like you have Raquel join this, and then you have Brie eventually return, then you run the tag team championship match, right? And the Bellas can probably take that off them. They're deserved, to have the Bellas win the women's tag team championship. It makes sense. But selfishly, I look at this and I'm like, dude, just give me Nikki Bella versus Liv Morgan. They cut a 2-minute long promo here against each other. And I was like, yep, I'm completely invested. This sounds like they have real heat between each other. Sounds like we could really have something good here. And Liv is absolutely phenomenal at selling in the ring. So if Nikki has any ring rust, that's the woman you want in the ring with her. So if that's the way they want to go toward Evolution 2, make it Nikki versus Liv, like all day, every day, man, I'm ready for that.
Yeah, one thing I'm interested to see away from the hometown, I understand that Nikki got the pop tonight. As we move to different towns, as we get to maybe Evolution, how does the crowd kind of react to her? And how does the crowd react to Liv? Because Liv's fans are very vocal. And there are a lot of people that cheer for Liv. There are some people that dislike Liv, but there's a lot of people that cheer for her. So I'm interested to see how they kind of navigate that, especially with Liv kind of being able to play like the tweener role. Like she's not necessarily heel. She's not exactly face. She's just kind of in the middle. She's Liv Morgan, right?
Yep.
So I'm a little interested to see how that's going to play out. That'll be interesting.
It'll take time for Nikki to win people over. And Liv's going to have to do some nasty stuff. I agree. I don't want to leave this real quick because a lot of things happen on Raw that makes you think that Liv and Dom may be in trouble here, right? Dom kind of ignored her at the Judgment Day Clubhouse after she lost. Nikki Bella brings up, hey, man, who's your man's woman? Are you her or is it Roxanne Perez? Is Liv Dom in a little bit of trouble right now?
I would think on the surface, you got to kind of look at it and say, yeah, they got to be. It's crazy how quick things change because when they were at AAA, they were all about each other and everything was fine. And Money in the Bank, same thing. A little bit of trouble here. I think Liv's just overall frustrated at the situation. I think she's also a little bit upset that Dom's not really being vocal one way or the other. He needs to kind of support Liv a little bit more. So maybe next week, Dom should be a little bit more vocal, support Liv and just kind of show that, hey, you know what, Roxanne, you might be new and everything, but I don't really care right now. I've got a woman over here.
On the surface level, you're right. They're in a little bit of trouble, all right? Dom's being a little bit, he's not very good at expressing his emotions, okay? He just likes nuggies and winning IC championships, all right? He's got a lot on his plate. But I'm still under the belief that him and Liv are going to be under the table working over the work that Finn and Roxanne are trying to pull on them. So I hope that continues, and I hope that Liv and Dom do end up still being together because I think that duo is just money on the mic, money on the screen, money everything, man. I love some Liv and Dom. So hopefully they stay together.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, when I say vocal, just give her a little bit of a pep talk here. Like, hey, Liv.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, you didn't even wish her happy birthday.
Yeah, on TV, come on.
There was no cake.
No cake. She would have made him a nuggie cake.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's possible.
World Heavyweight Championship
Tower
match.
of Nuggies.
Tower of Nuggies.
Tower of Tendies.
Tendy Tower. World Heavyweight Championship match. The reason we all came here, Jey Uso versus Gunther. And Jey came to the ring yeeting per usual, but with his son. His son got to eat with him, which is an awesome moment. It was awesome. Son was eating in the crowd with him. Man, that's dream stuff. WWE, man, it's cool stuff. Immediately, Jey Uso puts Gunther in chokeholds. Gunther comes out of the gate firing. Puts him in chokeholds multiple times. Sleeper hold. But eventually, Gunther slams him and rips his shirt off because he decided to wear a shirt. And that's when we unveil the damages from the past week of wrestling. Because last week on SmackDown, he took some spears. And then at Money in the Bank, obviously, he had a tough time in that match because Cena and Logan beat the hell out of him. And now he's having to wrestle against one of the hardest hitters in the game, Mr. Gunther. So Gunther gets a lot of this match offense in. It's a slow match. They're just brutalizing each other, man. A lot of slaps, a lot of suplexes. Slow, methodical.
Sleepers,
a ton of them.
It might be a record.
Yeah, dude.
It might be a record of sleepers.
Eventually, though, I mean, after they do a bunch of... Jey hits a spear and a splash, kicks out of it. Gunther hits a powerbomb. Jey kicks out of that. But then Gunther backs up and spears Jey Uso. I was like, what the hell's happening here? And then they start trading sleeper holds back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Just sleeper hold. And Jey eventually spears him again, though, and goes for the splash, misses the splash, and that's when Gunther puts him in what felt like the never-ending sleeper hold. And Jey was crawling to one corner, the Snickers corner, and then the Papa John's corner of the ring, and then back into the Slim Jim center of the ring. They were going everywhere. But eventually, Jey Uso's getting choked out. Ref comes over, picks up the arm. Jey Uso is out like a light.
Passes out.
Absolute upset alert on Raw. Gunther chokes out Jey Uso to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Did not see this one coming at all. But I pop it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop it as well. I like the way that they did the sleeper. You could say maybe they did it a tad too much, but I like the way how important the sleeper hold was throughout this match. You even got to see Gunther, like you said, hit a spear, which I thought was wild. Would have been cool if he did the ooh-ah. That would have been cool. I would have laughed. Yeah, exactly. It was good stuff. It was a Gunther match. It was nice to see Jey kind of wrestle a different style. Jey kind of had to change his style a little bit here. Shocking, to kind of say the least. But as the match was going on, we kind of talked about it. Night of Champions is coming up. So what does Jey do if Jey retains? We kind of had that thought, and we're like, I don't really have an answer. Well, we got our answer. I assume they're going to just run this back at Night of Champions again. Gunther gets the win here in what seems like a never-ending feud. So that's going to be interesting to see the reaction to that. But it was a good match, and I feel bad for Jey's son because he had to hold Jey up as Gunther's celebrating.
Yeah, this one was shocking to me. It's shocking to me for multiple reasons. I obviously played up in my head that we were going to have some sort of shenanigans with Seth Rollins and the Money in the Bank briefcase. I teased that multiple times throughout the episode of Raw. Nothing came of that, which was something. So that was shocking as is. And then it is, like you said, kind of the never-ending feud. It's like, how many more times are we going to do Jey versus Gunther? I love them both, but there does seem to be a little, too much of anything is too much of anything, right? I mean, we're going to run this back at Night of Champions. It looks like it. Early reports are that Jey might be a little injured. I don't really know about that either, but it's just shocking overall. I had no theory in my head with Gunther walking away with the belt tonight. I thought it was either going to be Jey walking away with it or Seth walking away with it. And to have Gunther being world champion again, I'm kind of just like, okay, I guess we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, and if Jey is injured, I mean, I guess that obviously makes the decision a little bit easier. But, I mean, that would suck. Yeah. I mean, that would absolutely suck if that's the case for everybody, the whole WWE, honestly, at that point. And then it would kind of raise a question for me, at least, if that is the case, then what do they pivot to? I mean, what do you have Gunther kind of do at that point? Who do you have him face at Night of Champions? So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I say hopefully they run it back, but I'm also like, hopefully they don't run it back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I assume they're going to, and I assume we get means to an end there, and Jey finishes it off at Night of Champions, but who knows?
Yeah, and if he beats him again, is that truly it? Is Gunther going to come right back to it? It seems like they really don't have a plan for Jey and Gunther other than each other. They're destined to do this forever. Batman and Joker, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. It was shocking. Shocking. There's not much else to say, man. His arm went down. And I was like, oh, Seth music?
Yeah, then you're waiting. You're like, oh, gotta be cashing. Because they built it up.
Yeah.
I mean, they built it up and built it up and built it up and built it up for months. And it's right after Money in the Bank. So then they're like, we got you. It's not happening.
Got me.
Not happening.
Anyway, it was an absolutely incredible episode of Raw. It was incredible. The 1, 2, 3 punch of SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and Raw this last week has been absolutely incredible. WWE's on a high here, man. It feels really good to be a wrestling fan at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the best Raw of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's best Raw in recent memory.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Sometimes you get Raws that you're like, that wasn't really that great. Start with Cena Punk and with the new champ.
Incredible. And it was a lot more fun watching with all of you guys on our live stream on YouTube at COD Wrestle Pod. Make sure to stop by for Raw, SmackDown, and all PLEs. We love streaming with you guys. And for everything else for our podcast, it's at COD Wrestle Pod, COD Wrestle Pod. We have a link tree in our bio. It's a link that gives you everything, all of our links to all of our socials. So we appreciate you going one by one, following all that stuff, and support the channel because we're confident that you guys are going to love this type of wrestling content. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.